Hello dear students, welcome back. Today we are meeting to resume our chapter number 1, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse. So let's start today's discussion. Well, last time we had left on this paragraph, dear students. Now we are going to resume our discussion from the next paragraph. Well, it seemed to me stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing as stealing something else, such as money. For all I knew, maybe it wasn't stealing at all. If you were crazy about horses the way my cousin Murad and I were, it wasn't stealing, it wouldn't become stealing until we offered to sell the horse, which of course I knew we would never do. Let me put on some clothes, I said. All right, he said, but hurry. I leaped into my clothes. I jumped down to the yard from the window and leaped up onto the horse behind my cousin Murad. So here in this paragraph, we are finding that he asked Murad if he had stolen the horse. Murad replied, if he wants a ride, he must jump out of the window. And Aram was convinced that the horse was stolen by Murad. And he came to visit him to ask him to ride it with him. So Aram tried to convince himself that it was not the same as stealing money, as they both were so crazy about riding a horse. He thought that it would not be called stealing until they decide to sell it, which they would never do. So Ram said he will wear some clothes and will come outside. And he jumped down to his yard from his room's window and sat on the horse behind his cousin Murad. So basically, this is how Aram is justifying Murad's act of stealing. He thought that stealing a horse for a ride was not the same as stealing something for money. And stealing a horse for a ride could not be called stealing because they are not going to sell the horse in the market and getting money in return. So they have taken the horse, they have stolen the horse only for taking a ride or to take the lessons of riding. So it cannot be taken as stealing. And after all, the horse would be returned to its owner. So that is why they were thinking that when we are going to return the horse to the owner, it cannot be taken as stealing. So this is how the stealing was justified. And Murad's stealing, you may say, Murad's stealing was justified by Aram. Now further he says, that year we lived at the edge of town on Walnut Avenue. Behind our house was the country, vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches, and country roads. In less than 3 minutes, we were on Olive Avenue, and then the horse began to trot. The air was new and lovely to breathe. The feel of the horse running was wonderful. My cousin Murad, who was considered one of the craziest members of our family, began to sing. I mean, he began to roar. Now I hope you know the meaning of vineyards. So vineyards basically are the plantation of grape wines used in wine making. Then orchards, it's a piece of land of the plantation of fruits. Okay, so the garden of fruits, you may say, orchards are orchards. Next we have irrigation ditches. Man-made channel used to deliver water to homes and industries and other uses are the irrigation ditches. Okay, and then he said the horse began to trot. Trot means proceed with something. So the horse started running very, very fast. So this way he is using this word trot. So Aram is telling you here that they lived at the edge of the town on Walnut Avenue. and there were orchards, vineyards, and irrigation ditches, and country roads behind his house, and they were on Olive Avenue within 3 minutes, and the horse started to proceed. The air felt new and lovely to breathe, and Aram felt wonderful sitting on the horse which was running. And Murad started singing loudly, who was considered one of the craziest members of the family. As he is writing, he began to sing. He began to roar. He began to roar. Why he is writing this thing? Because according to him, Murad was singing. Okay, but according to Aram, he was not sweet. So in singing, his voice was not so sweet in singing. So that is why he is writing here that he began to roar. In other words, you may say that it could hardly be called singing because his voice was not so sweet or melodious. Now further he says, every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere, and my cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. Before him was our uncle Khosrow, an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and the largest mustache in the San Joaquin Valley. A man so furious in temper, so irritable, so impatient that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. So as he is using the word streak, every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere. Streak here stands for race, race. And as he is writing that enormous man, enormous, as you may know, you must know that enormous means huge. Okay, and San Joaquin Valley is one of the long interior valleys of California. So its name is San Joaquin Valley. So he is telling you here that there is one crazy person in every family, and Murad was the one natural descendant of a crazy race in their tribe. And before Murad was Uncle Khosrow, was the one huge man with black hair and largest mustache in the valley, and he had an energetic temper and was impatient, which was irritating. So he used to make anyone stop talking by roaring and say, it is no harm, pay no attention to it. So it was his pet dialogue every time when he find someone is talking in a loud voice, or someone is making arguments with him. So this is the dialogue that he used to say every time, that it is no harm, pay no attention to it. Repeatedly he used to say to that fellow, without considering the matter that how serious it was or what kind of discussion was going on. He used to say this line, this sentence every time. That was all, no matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Once it was his own son Arak running 8 blocks to the barber's shop where his father was having his mustache trimmed, to tell him their house was on fire. So Aram is telling you one incident where Uncle Khosrow was sitting at the barber shop and he was getting his mustache trimmed, and in the same time his son, Uncle Khosrow's son Arak, came running out to him, and he started informing him that their house was on fire. So this man Khosrow sat up in the chair and roared, it is no harm, pay no attention to it. The barber said, but the boy says your house is on fire. So Khosrow roared, enough, it is no harm, I say. So Uncle Khosrow was always this rigid, no matter who happened to be talking about in front of him. So once his own son Arak came running to him when he was getting his mustache trimmed at the barber's shop. He told him the house was on fire, to which he rode and said the same dialogue. And Barber was amused and tried to talk to him about it as usual, but Khusrov rode again and did not pay any attention to it. So this was the craziest and the most irritable nature or attitude, you may say, that he was carrying for everyone. So my cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man. Although Murad's father was Zorab, who was practical and nothing else. That's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. The distribution of the various kinds of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. Now, capricious here means inconsistent, change of mood, something which carries on, change from time to time. And vagrant means a person without a settled home or work. Okay. So in this paragraph, he is telling you that Murad was considered to be a natural descendant of this man, Uncle Khusrov, but he was not his son. His father was Zorab. Murad's father was Zorab, who was a practical person. And a child could look like his father, but doesn't mean he gets his nature and attitude just the same as his father was carrying. So there are different kinds of people in their tribes, moody and without any settled work or home. They were, still riding the horse, and Murad was still singing loudly. And they were still in the countryside where, according to their neighbors, they belonged to. As he is writing that we rode and my cousin Murad sang, for all anybody knew we were still in the old country where, at least according to some of our neighbors, we belonged. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. Then at last my cousin Murad said, "Get down, I want to ride alone." "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. I stands for Aram. "That is up to the horse," my cousin said. "Get down. The horse will let me ride," I said. "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with a horse." So this is said by Murad, that I have a way with a horse. "Well," I said, "anyway you have with a horse, I have also." "For the sake of your safety," he said, "let us hope so. Get down." "All right," I said, "but remember you have got to let me try to ride alone." I got down and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazir, run." Now Wazir is a name of the horse. So he had taken his name and he had commanded the horse to run. So the horse stood on its hind legs, snorted, and burst into a fury of speed. Fury means anger, or with full force, you may say. Fury of speed that was the loveliest thing I had ever seen. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned, dripping wet. So Murad asked him to get down as he wanted to ride alone, and Aram asked if he could ride the horse alone. He said that it is up to the horse if he wants to ride you along, and asked him to get Murad down again. So Aram tried to convince him that the horse would let him ride, to which Murad said that we shall see, and told Aram that he had a way with a horse. He had a way with a horse stands here for that he had a kind of understanding with the horse. This is what he wanted to tell to Aram. Okay. So he said that let's hope so that the horse would let you ride along with him. So Aram got down while telling him that he will ride the horse alone, and Murad kicked his heels in the horse and shouted Vizier to make him to run. Vizier is the name, as I told you. Vizier is the name of the horse. So the horse stood on its hind legs, breathed out, and ran into a speed. So Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass and irrigation ditches, and when they arrived 5 minutes later, they were all wet. So we are leaving our discussion for today here in this paragraph, dear children. We shall resume our discussion in the next video. Till then, goodbye.